Hello and welcome to another edition of the PHNX Dbacks podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as a shocked person that the Dbacks can win a baseball game. And I'm joined by, of course, our social media goddess, the one and only Makayla Perkins.
Woo! A walk-off error. We love to see it.
Walk off, whatever. I don't care. This was a weird game with a lot of walks, very few hits for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and most importantly, they really couldn't hit with runners in scoring position. But we'll talk about that. There's plenty of negative stuff to talk about all year long. We're going to try to accentuate the positives in this one. But of course, this show is brought to you by the fine folks at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Get down on the NBA play-in tournament action with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Bet $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets instantly. You clinch a win no matter what. And the Diamondbacks did that exact thing today, Makayla. They clinched a win in a game that it seemed like it so many times they wanted to throw away. And I just say that because even though that they were up for the majority of it, they just couldn't get those extra runs that really put this game into the W column much earlier than it went.
Yeah, not only can the Diamondbacks not hit, but they can't score runners in scoring position this season.
13, or what? Excuse me. I mean, yeah, I guess it's still 1 for 13 because even that error ends up being an error to walk off the game. So I don't know. They had a lot of walks. They were very patient.
It's really weird. Yeah, I mean, they can't hit, but when they can manage to get on base, whether like by walk or however they can get on base and they get in scoring position, then nobody can drive them home. So their left on base percentages through the freaking roof because they just can't score runners in scoring position. And it's really frustrating, especially because it's just like overall a lack of being able to generate offense. And it just, drives me nuts.
This one's for Seth Cerveza, though, because Seth Cerveza came through for the Diamondbacks today. Again, late for this team, had the big hit. I liked Lovello's game plan here, honestly. They've had such a hard time hitting with runners in scoring position that they came up into the bottom of the 10th. They bunted to get that guy over to third. They brought Seth Beer in. They knew Seth Beer could, lift the ball to the outfield, but instead he gets a single. More importantly, he gets on base. He ties the game and eventually is the winning run in this game. So Seth Beer just continues to do big things for this team, even if his numbers don't reflect it, even if nobody's numbers on the team right now reflect anything positive other than the walks. Like the walks really show how patient they're being. It was a fun ending. Absolutely. I agree with that. And the walks right now outnumber the hits for this team.
By a lot.
Team in baseball with more walks than hits. That's a bit baffling. But I feel like this has been their focus. They were once again, we talked about it on this show a bunch. They were one of the worst teams in baseball as far as
they were swinging at everything last season. It was first pitch. It was slow and like not even in the box. It didn't matter. They were swinging at it last year. So it's really refreshing, I guess, to see them kind of holding back, being selective about what they're swinging at. Obviously, it's hurting a little bit in terms of generating offense because they actually can't hit anything.
I just think they're being too patient, right? Like, I mean, at times I feel like, yes, they get ahead in the count and, this big meatball comes down the middle of the plate and they're either not swinging at it or they're behind, not expecting the opposing pitcher to try to get on board with a strike at that point, which both of those scenarios seem very odd. It does seem like they have a game plan, though. Like it seems like the team as a whole is focused. It seems like whatever they're telling them is something that they're working on because everybody's able to draw walks. They just weren't able to score those key runs with those guys on base, with runners in scoring position, getting those big hits that could have really opened this game up earlier, right? And again, I don't want to nitpick. I just felt like this game really was a game that they could have probably put away without going into extra innings and probably should have, but at least they didn't blow it, which is what it seemed to be trending towards later in the game with that late run and then the Astros getting on the board first in the 10th.
Yeah, very refreshing to see them not blow it. Thankfully, the bullpen was able to hold over and not absolutely just destroy the Diamondbacks' day. But I agree, it should have been a game that they should have won earlier. I don't think the extra innings were necessary. Obviously, I was wrong about that. But I'm glad that they were kind of the bullpen was able to hold them over. And I'm going to say something that I don't know how I feel about. You might need to plug your ears, everybody who's a baseball purist. I'm kind of starting to like the runner on second.
No, absolutely not. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm sorry. Don't come for me. Don't cancel me. I kind of like it. It's kind of nice. It just it gives me some more interest in watching extra innings because there's somebody on second already. I don't know why I like it. I'm kind of starting to like it. Don't hate me.
Actually, one of our viewers, Chris, in our comments made a great point about that, saying that baseball is one of the only games that not only do you hope it doesn't go into extra innings, but once it does, it's not more exciting once it does.
Right.
It's like you just hope it doesn't go 18. That's all you're hoping
for.
Well,
our producer Leah, we were sitting out on the couch watching the game, and Leah was like, "This game started at 12:30. It's 4:30." And I was like, yeah it's a long one. So I just feel baseball. Like it kind of just speeds it up a little bit. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Usually I would hate it. What?
I think players, I think you're right about that. I think players feel that same way. I mean, there was players support of the ghost runner rule, and I mean, this is exactly why. Who knows with the offense both of these teams were generating in this game, who knows how long this game would have gone, right?
Forever.
Luckily they were able to kickstart things, and actually, the Diamondbacks were able to get things going once they were there. But it's kind of heartbreaking because they spoiled an excellent outing from Merrill Kelly, who was
so good. Oh my God. He was pitching lights out. Also, shout out to my girl, Susie Hunter, in the comments. I'm sorry. She's our new DNVR Rockies co-host. So shout out to her. She's my fellow baseball
Susie,
queen.
Tell her.
But Merrill Kelly was lights out. 5 1/3 innings pitched, only gave up 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. I mean, that is a hell of an inning for a starting pitcher. There's pretty much nothing else you could ask for except maybe a little bit longer going into the 6th or 7th inning, but they can't right now because of the shortened spring training. But that was just amazing, incredible start. There's pretty much nothing else you can ask for from your starting pitcher.
Well, people are losing their mind today over Clayton Kershaw basically throwing a perfect game and being pulled out of the game early due to the pitch count.
I was losing my mind, and I hate the Dodgers.
I know, because we like history and we want to see cool stuff happen. And even if it's a team we don't root for, it's still impressive because there's so few perfect games, that take place in history. And now we're getting limited to 80 pitches at this point due to the shortened spring. Merrill Kelly, probably could have gone longer. I think for that, in that instance, it might have been more to potentially save that run from scoring. I think it was Kyle Nelson. He came in and did an excellent job of getting him out of that inning without any run scoring. But it's just another outing that proves right now Merrill Kelly is the Diamondbacks' best pitcher.
Yeah, absolutely. I said that, I think the second live show we had, I was like, Merrill Kelly is the Diamondbacks ace. There's no question about it. He has earned that title. He is just pitching lights out right now. And I said this earlier too, when he takes the mound, he's a type of player where I just can relax. I'm not white knuckling my chair, scared the entire game because, oh my God, he's going to give up, some runs here. I have so much confidence in Merrill Kelly's game and who he is as a player that I can enjoy games that he pitches because I'm not scared out of my mind about what we're about to watch.
I compared him to a weighted blanket.
Yes. I have a weighted blanket. I love those things.
Right? You can slip under that and go right to sleep no matter how you're feeling, right? And that's Merrill Kelly he's that comforting, feeling for the Arizona Diamondbacks right now. They don't have a lot of guys right now that they can count on to go out there. He still didn't get that elusive quality start, but at this point, I think that's okay for what's going on. And I think that it was a masterful outing for him. And it makes the Diamondbacks look very smart for extending him with how good he was in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Out of the 2 players that the Diamondbacks extended in the offseason, Merrill Kelly is the only one earning that extension right now. So shout out to him for putting in the money where his mouth is.
Hey, Ketel had the walk-off error. All right. Let's not forget. It would have been a sac fly anyway. It doesn't matter. Seth Beer was coming home. So, but Ketel is one of a bunch of guys. I think that, again, is probably the most concerning part of this is that you look across the board and just their struggles offensively aren't just one guy. Carson Kelly had another rough day out there. So when you talk about struggling, Carson Kelly right now is the guy that's struggling probably the most offensively. Just not only is he not having productive at bats, he has the most strikeouts of anybody on the team, and he looks a bit lost at the plate.
He
today
really does.
he looked easily duped, and I don't know what the confusion is right now with him, but that's baseball. I mean, guys can be, in a slump like this and have a hard time getting out of it. But once, hopefully it clicks for him, he can get back on track. Last year, he was off to a fast start, and he looked excellent to start the season for this team. And, now I don't know, not only was he not good at the plate, but he wasn't good behind it either.
Yeah.
And he wasn't able to make, great throws to second, and he wasn't able to stop some key, pitches that got by. So I don't know. I mean, Herrera also got let some key balls, squeak through as well when he was in as catcher. So I know that nothing, not everything's perfect, but it really sucks for Carson right now, considering everything, seems to be just a bit off.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole team seems a bit off. The defense has been not great, which is really weird for the Diamondbacks because the Diamondbacks pride themselves on being an excellent defensive team. The bats aren't going. There's runners being left on base. The bullpen is all over the place. Mark Melancon probably crushed my hopes and dreams last night. So he has
not been good.
Yeah. It's just weird. Like there's things to be excited about when it comes to this team, but when you look overall about what's happened in the first two series for the season, they just don't, I don't know. They just look off. Like there's just something off about this team. And I wish that they could figure it out and they could kind of get that swagger back about them, because I don't know if I like what I'm seeing. I'm kind of just like, bleh.
They had much better approaches at the plate today. They just looked better. They looked more aggressive. They looked like they commanded the zone a little bit better. The strike zone was all over the place. Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire, we're
going to be saying that all season long.
I know, but his strike zone really was like, it wasn't even consistent with how he was calling it himself at times.
Right, yeah.
But they did a good job of keeping that strike zone small and getting a lot of walks, getting a lot of opportunities, right? And it feels once again like they're just on the cusp of breaking through and converting, having those guys on base to run scoring. And I want to accentuate the positives because let's be honest, there's not a lot to accentuate, but the pitching has been outstanding. And when you talk about Mark Melancon, not great. Ian Kennedy looks great, looks really good again. Looks like he got back on track. It was a bit worrisome when both of those guys.
I was gonna say he kind of scared me for a little bit for a second.
Both of them had a really rough first game, but Ian has really done a good job of getting back on track. And I think that this pitching, honestly, when you look aside, we try to take out that 10-5 Padres score. This pitching has let them stay in every single game that they've been in.
Yeah, so the pitching is the most competitive part about this team. They have made me silenced my doubts, especially, and Mad Bum too yesterday with Mad Bum's outing. He shut me up real quick, which I'm more than happy to be shut up. I think it's great when I'm proven wrong.
Please.
And I think
please shut us up. Please.
The pitching staff is definitely the most consistent part of this team right now, and they are earning their flowers. Like you said, outside of the 10-5 Padres game where the bullpen was really bad and the starting pitching wasn't great, they are looking pretty solid.
Yeah. And we'll talk about what might be going on with the starting pitching next here coming up. But of course, we want to let you guys know, if you haven't signed up already to become a member over at gophnx.com, I don't know what you're waiting for. We have the best content. We have the best reporters. We have the best everything. And not only that, but what other sports website has a mayor, right? Like, come on. So go sign up at gophnx.com. You can get an annual membership right now, and you'll get yourself a free t-shirt. You get this lovely shirt right here. You can get that lovely shirt Mac's wearing. You can also get our brand new PHNX Rattler design over at PHNXLocker.com. Members get members only discounts over at PHNXLocker.com as well. So, with baseball season coming around, might be some discounts for you to pick up that shirt if you're already a member. And if you're not interested in the annual membership, you can get that month-to-month membership for just 50 cents. Try us out, see if you like us. If you want to stick around, get that annual membership or go with the month-to-month route, whatever you choose. But we just want you to become a part of the PHNX family. We got members-only Discord where we talk about all of our fun baseball stuff. We're going to lose our minds in there tonight, I'm sure, about this and start speculating on how Merrill Kelly is going to win the Cy Young and all sorts of crazy stuff. But, of course, we just want you to join us here. We hope you enjoy the content, everything coming out from the PHNX crew. And looking forward at the upcoming series with the New York Mets, I think the Arizona Diamondbacks lucked out, Mac, because we'll talk about the probables, but the good news is Max Scherzer pitched today against the Phillies and was really, really good. So we get to miss Scherzer altogether, and no Jacob deGrom because of a right shoulder injury. So as good as the Mets starting rotation can be, the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to luck out, I think, a bit going forward, looking at that rotation. On Friday, we'll have Zach Davies up against Chris Bassett, who had an excellent outing, 8 strikeouts and no runs in his first start. Carlos Carrasco, another great starting pitcher for them. So even without Jacob deGrom in the lineup, the starting lineup has really held it down for these guys so far. Zac Gallen will make his debut on Saturday, which is a bit surprising because that would have been Caleb Smith's turn in the rotation. And now Sunday is to be determined. So Zac Gallen comes back. Good news there. Is it time to speculate, though, about what we're going to see on Sunday? Do we think we'll see that Caleb Smith on the mound, or do we think we'll see potentially someone else for the Arizona Diamondbacks?
I don't know. I am obviously really down on Caleb Smith as a starting pitcher. I don't think him being in the rotation was a good choice to begin with. I was just overall really confused by it, especially since Luke Weaver is sitting in the bullpen now. But if you ask me right now, I don't think that they're going to start Caleb Smith on Sunday. I think they've probably seen enough. I've seen enough, at least, to not want to start him. So I hope that they kind of figure out something to do on Sunday, because I don't know how much more of Caleb Smith pitching I could watch.
I think they have options, but it would to me, with the way that they committed to Caleb Smith, towards the end of spring training, saying he was going to be their 5th starter, it seems like it would be a bit much to not give him a second opportunity. Yeah. That's what like my coaching mentor side says. I think I'm like, but also Caleb Smith has a track record now of proving that he's much better out of the bullpen than he is as a starter, right? Yep. So I think that's the problem, is that putting him as a starter feels a bit like putting Ketel Marte in center field.
Absolutely. Like you want to do my gosh, that is the best way to describe it.
But he's not successful there. So why would you do that? Even if Ketel Marte wanted to be in center field, there's a point where you have to say, look, dude, you're a better second baseman. And Caleb, that might be the case with Caleb. Maybe it pisses him off and keeps him angry. Like I was telling Jesse, maybe that's what he needs. Maybe he needs to stay angry instead of getting what he wants. Maybe he needs to stay hungry and keep him in the bullpen and dangle that carrot of him coming back to the starting rotation all season long, but never give it to him. I don't know. But, the fact is that it's really what helps the club win ball games and where you're most effective. That guy is just great out of the pen. I don't know who they're going to turn to, but they do have options. They have Corbin Martin, who they could turn to, as well as Humberto Castellanos, who also was really good for them kind of out of nowhere last season in a starter role when he has never started prior to, those occasions when Torrey had to call on him. So, and he was, again, the numbers might not reflect it, but he stepped up and he was one of the few bright spots for the Diamondbacks last season when they were going through some pretty significant struggles.
Yeah, for sure. I guess if they want to give Caleb Smith another shot, who am I to say no? But I think after that second start, if it's as bad as his first start was, I think then you need to start rethinking about who you're going to slot in that 5th spot in the rotation, because I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me. Like me saying starting pitcher Caleb Smith, I don't like that at all. So I guess if you're going to, I think it depends on how the series is going to go too, right? Like you said, I think the Diamondbacks have the baseball gods bless the Diamondbacks by not having the 2 best pitchers on the Mets play against them at all. So if they can go into New York and come out hot, wake those bats up, have really good starting pitching, and the bullpen can hold itself together, and they win those first 2 games, I guess maybe then you can give Caleb Smith a start because you've won the series, and I guess it doesn't really matter at that point. But if they want to try to get a game out of the series and they lose that first 2, then I don't see how you can give Caleb Smith a start. If you're trying to be competitive, you're trying to win baseball games. Now, if you just don't care, then fine, throw him out there and you can lose the series. But I think it's going to depend on how the series goes too.
I think there's a lot of things that this team is willing to be patient with and even sacrifice wins at times, because they don't have really better options, right? With the 5th starting rotation spot, I mean, Caleb Smith went out and won it during spring training. It's what spring training is about. The only problem is it was a short spring training, and there wasn't
smaller
a
sample
big
size.
There wasn't a big sample size for you to really see multiple starts and really get an idea for what he's going to do against major league quality hitting. And it's not to say that he's not capable of doing so. That's why I'm not ready to pull him from the rotation that quickly. However, if they feel like that's necessary, they haven't been giving a lot of people a lot of time. Let's be honest. They've been sending guys down that we didn't expect to see down. Drew Ellis didn't last very long at third base before being sent down to AAA Reno. They've gone out and picked up other guys that have done a pretty good job of coming into this team and already kind of just adding a bit of life, to the offense. And again, they're not sticking with their commitments to certain guys when they can go out and give, someone else possibly an opportunity to shine in that role. So I don't know how patient they'll be with Caleb. I don't know how long they'll give him. I still think that he's a very good pitcher for this team, but it's all about where he pitches and where he can succeed at, right?
Yep, totally.
So if I'm high on Corbin Martin, I think Corbin Martin could be a guy that slips into the rotation because of this. And honestly, it would really make that Zac Greinke trade look pretty incredible if Corbin Martin could end up being, a 5th starter in this rotation this soon. And have Josh Rojas on the field back when he comes back from injury as well, healthy. It sounds like that's not going to be too long, so hopefully we'll get him back. Diamondbacks still don't have a lot of options at third base, and we still really don't know what they're doing there. So not to discredit them too much, but they still don't seem like they have a game plan and are pretty rudderless when it comes to their direction on at least third base so far. The pieces in the outfield seem to be working okay. Varsho, McCarthy, they've been doing a great job defensively. Just nobody's bats are really getting going yet. Pavin Smith, another guy that's been having some good, plate appearances, but just can't really get the hits, which is just the team wide thing of not being able to hit. Mac is crazy to me. It's crazy. Hopefully it gets rectified like on the road. Maybe that's what they need, a change of scenery. Go on the road. I know they've been very good on the road at times when they're away from Chase Field for some reason, inexplicably. So maybe going to New York and to Washington can get some things started for them. In the meantime,
what do you think we're going to see out of Zac Gallen? What are you expecting from his start?
I think Zac Gallen's going to be incredible. I think Zac Gallen's going to be the Zac Gallen that we've seen. He was throwing very hard. This thumb injury is so minor. It was a minor cut due to
he got his finger stuck in the electrical box.
Like a circuit box? Yeah.
What are you doing, what are you doing, fam?
Why are you doing electrical work? Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't care how minor it is.
Can't you pay somebody to do that? You're a Major League Baseball player.
Pay somebody to do it. I get it. You can do it yourself.
Also, if I was a pitcher, I would protect my hands at all costs. I would bubble wrap them shit so nothing happened to them at any point.
Exactly. I'd bubble wrap my whole body all the time. I wouldn't be out here running on the streets where a car could hit me or I could twist my ankle. Are you kidding me?
You have one job. Man. Do not injure your hands.
Yeah. Look, I can change my own oil. I'm capable of it, but I haven't done it in 25 years. You know why? Because I have money to pay someone else to do it. Also, it's not really cost efficient to do it yourself. It's just my opinion. But anyway, that's again, get someone else to do your electrical work, Zac Gallen, because again, we need to protect you at all costs. This is I don't know how I have to remind these guys, but I mean, do the Diamondbacks need to send somebody home with them to watch them at all times and make sure that they, fingers stuck in an electrical box has to be one of the strangest injuries from our friend Charles Woodall Pike. By the way, happy belated birthday to you, Charles. I know we're also fellow Aries, so I wanted to give a shout out to you.
Oh no. I could have gone my whole life without knowing you all are Aries.
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
But yeah, I think though that if Zac Gallen can go out there and give us a really solid outing, I'm feeling a little bit more optimistic as this team as a whole, just because he's a huge part of it, and not being able to know how he's going to perform has just given me so much anxiety. So I think if he can go out there and, put up a good 5 or 6 innings, I'll be feeling a little bit more happy about this team in general, because then, you've got Madison Bumgarner, who, if he can just do what he did yesterday, you've got Merrill Kelly, who's a great ace. You've got Zac Gallen, who can pitch really well too, and who also really needs to do well because Jazz Chisholm is tearing it up in Miami.
Oh my God! Don't even bring that up. Shut up.
And then who am I missing?
Charlie Sheen stopped by
just
to take a picture with Jazz Chisholm, by the way. I just want
to and then you got Zach Davies. So then you've got like a 1 through 4 rotation that's pretty good and I feel pretty confident in. And then they just need to figure out that 5 spot. So I hope he can do well because I'm really emotionally hedging a lot of my support.
Merrill Kelly's looked great. Madison Bumgarner's looked better than expected. Zach Davies looks better than expected. You're right. If we can get Zac Gallen back to his old self, looking like his old self, then, and I mean, honestly, up to this point, the starting rotation really hasn't been the problem. We bring up that 10-5 game. Caleb Smith started that game. He gave up 5 runs, but the Diamondbacks were able to put up 5 runs themselves in that game. Really, what happened from that point was the bullpen wasn't able to help them stay in the game by not giving up any more runs. They just added to it by letting the Padres pile on, right? Again, that's the nobody's perfect. The bullpen's not going to be perfect every night, but the bullpen didn't help in that instance to help this team stay in a game that who knows what could have happened had they, held it down, and they might've been able to tie it late and we might've had 3 walk-off exciting victories. Instead, we only have 2, and we can use OG's gummies to forget all the losses for right now. Let's just wipe the slate clean. Let's go to OG's, get yourself some gummies. They have some wonderful tasting gummies, as Mac will attest to. She's a big fan of the orange creamsicle indica, as well as all the other flavors that they have. But if you're interested in going to the game 1 of the Suns playoffs this Sunday, OG's might be able to help you out with that. OG's will be hooking up 2 lucky fans with free tickets. Be on the lookout on our Instagram at PHNX_sports on Friday for our official post about official rules on how to enter. And then join our friends OG's on the main stage during Buds-a-Palooza 420 Festival this Friday, where, of course, I'll be there. Enjoy dope music, dank bunchies, and overall good vibes with me, Shane, Sean, Totri, and Saul out there. Visit Buds-a-Palooza, that's BUDSAPALOOZA.com to get your tickets. And, of course, our friends at OGs.com will have all sorts of fun there. They'll be offering you guys all sorts of great stuff. So get out there on OG's at ogswebsite.com. That's OGEEZbrands.com to find OG's near you. And they are, of course, flavoring your life. Mac, before we go, we got to give our DraftKings King of the Game. And of course, this one a little difficult because we had our last minute heroics. But
no, it's not difficult at all. If you didn't give it to the player who I hope you're giving it to, I'm gonna be mad at you.
I'm giving my King of the Game to Merrill Kelly.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Oh my God.
Right? I mean, there is nobody else. There were small pieces offensively, but nobody contributed as much to keeping the Diamondbacks in this game as Merrill Kelly. 5 1/3 innings pitch, 0 runs allowed, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 3 hits. Just a great day out there for Merrill. And again, a guy that we didn't really know what we were going to get out of at one point from Korea is now the best pitcher on our team. So let's just take a look at this upcoming road trip as to what the Arizona Diamondbacks have on tap. We got the New York Mets coming up for breakfast. That's right. Breakfast this Friday and Saturday. The Diamondbacks now have their second win of the year, and we'll hopefully look to add on to that. It's a very tough Mets team, so I'm not sure how that's going to go, but again, it'll be interesting to see them leave Chase Field and play a series elsewhere and see if they can get their shit together offensively on the road, because right now
shit together.
I don't understand it. Oh man, it's like it's a very frustrating thing to watch, but I feel like the confidence is building definitely, and hoping the coffee is strong this weekend, says Charles Whittle-Pike. Yeah, because we're gonna have some AM baseball, and hopefully it's strong for them. I don't know about the Diamondbacks. Maybe that's what they need. Daytime baseball. They won this one, so that's obviously what they need.
Diamondbacks can exclusively only play during the day from this point forward.
Yeah, and they're exclusively the only team in baseball with more walks than hits. So put it on a shirt is what I'm saying. There we go. That's Well, that needs to be updated, but that was accurate when we tweeted it out. 22 hits, 30. I think we're like 26 hits now, 31 walks. So many walks. Being very
so many
patient.
walks. They're just walking around that diamond.
I know that's actively like the main part of their offensive approach, but now they just need to figure out a way to connect that together with some hits. So let's see what they do.
Hey, maybe it's just like a gradual process, like one step at a time. We fix one thing. Okay, great. Now we're going to fix another thing.
Yeah. And before this series started, I predicted this was the game we were going to win. So not to toot my own horn, but beep, beep.
Wow.
So thank you guys so much for joining us and checking out the post-game show. We hope you enjoyed this walk-off win, walk-off error win as much as we
walk-off
did.
error. We love a walk-off error.
That's such a good description for the Arizona Diamondbacks season so far. But we thank you guys so much for joining us. Yeah, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at @cap_caveman with a K. Makayla is at Makayla E. Perkins. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks. But of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you're listening to us right now on your favorite audio podcasting app, please subscribe to us if you haven't done so already and leave us a 5-star review. Makayla is a 5-star woman, and you know it. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, subscribe to our channel and sign up for notifications. That way you don't not only miss content from our wonderful show, but all the other wonderful shows on the PHNX network. If you're here for the Diamondback stuff, we know you like all the other Valley sports. You kind of told on yourself just by being here. But we of course thank you guys so much for your time. On behalf of Makayla and myself, we appreciate you joining us. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you get a walk-off error.
Bye.